Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to the ScrapFX Art Journaling channel. Today we are going to be looking at doing some scraped layer backgrounds. And I'm starting off with my small Dilutions journal, and I'm just starting off with a whole heap of different coloured acrylic paints. The ones I'm using here are the Dina Wakley ones, and just with an old credit card. Well, this is actually a gift certificate, sorry. I'm just scraping the paint across the background, and I'm scraping it into a journal that I've got pages left over in, so I'm not wasting any paint, because if you've seen the video I've just done before here, talking about my Use It Up journal, I don't like wasting paint. I can always make it into another background somewhere. So I'm going in with now contrasting colour. Now the important thing to doing this technique is to dry your layers off in between. So because we're working with acrylic paint, when they're wet they will mix colours and you'll end up with brown. If you dry them off, you'll see these layers develop over the top. It does look like a hot mess. It's supposed to. Once you're finished with it, you'll be really surprised how it suddenly transforms. This is just the base coat that we're going to do stuff with. And sometimes having a really ugly background really helps your creativity, because you think, well, I've got this background, how can I possibly ruin it anymore? So let's just add stuff to it. So this is one of the new collage rice papers. This is the Sketchings #1, I think, by Michelle Logan, and I absolutely adore this page. It's one of the best collage things ever. Michelle is a highly talented, clever person who does amazing work. Her doodling and detailing and handwriting are just fabulous. So I'm just using gel medium to glue this down on the page. Being really haphazard with how I'm tearing it down. I'm trying not to cover up too much of my background, but I am getting a little bit carried away, because I just love every time you tear this you end up with something new. The great thing about the collage rice papers though, and using gel medium with them, is they go translucent, so you can see what's happening underneath them. So if you do have a background you love, it is still going to peep through. The next thing I'm going to do is now stamp over the top, just to sort of tie everything together. So I'm using the letters and numbers circle, this is a large one, and fuchsia archival ink from Ranger. The great thing about the foam stamps is because they are thin and so flexible, you can stamp them across the spine like I've just done in this session. The other thing is, even though you don't look like you have much ink on it, it actually holds a great deal of ink. So this is the new line marking stamp set, and again, just using some colours that I've already got on the page. So you're repeating colours that you have. I'm just adding in some extra marks. So I'm overlapping these funky lines, and they're quite bold in comparison to what sort of else is happening on the page. It just adds the overall detail. So once I'd finished doing my mark making in the background, I wanted to add in this stencil, because it is one of my favourite stencils. And I am not particular about how I use stencils, so stencils to me don't have a right or wrong side. I know officially they do, there's only one side you're supposed to use with them, but particularly with stencils like this, I like flipping them around so they fit onto the page the way I want them to, particularly with sort of directional ones like this. So this is the Freedom Girl stencil from ScrapFX. It comes with a mask as well, which is really, really handy to have. Just to sort of make a vignette of my page and sort of give it a bit of a border, I'm just going in with the excess Payne's grey that I've got and just darkening up the edges, and I really like doing that in pages like this. I'm also, again, using up my paint. I'm not wasting it, and scraping it into my page. Now the reason I use Payne's grey is I find sometimes black is too harsh, so using something that is dark but not black really helps. This is a sneak peek of a new product that is being released soon. This is a Dina Wakley gloss acrylic sprays, which is basically like an acrylic ink. So I'm using it as an acrylic ink, and I'm splattering it across my page. Now the great thing is it comes in those beautiful colours that I've used in the background already, so the magenta, the turquoise, the lime green. So I can replicate the colours that I've already used, because one of the things I really love about art journaling pages is repetition. If you repeat colours, if you repeat patterns, it helps to tie the whole page together. One thing I hope you saw me do, well, I hope you didn't see me do, but I did do it, so I'm warning you. I actually applied the heat tool while that mask was still on, and it actually reacted with the plastic. So do remove your mask or your stencils before you heat it up, because you will bend and warp them, so you won't be able to use them as effectively as you have done in the past. So use my silliness as an example of what not to do. Just to finish off this page, because I really love the background, I didn't want to do too much to it. I'm just finishing off with a quote. Again, this is from another one of the collage rice papers that have just been released. When you love what you have, you do everything you need. Oh, you have everything you need. I just thought it was perfect, because I loved what I had on this page, and it was everything I needed. It certainly was a pickup, because I was having a bit of a funk with how some things were working for me, and I did this page, and just the colours in it really sang for me. So I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial. These scraped paint backgrounds are a fantastic technique to have. If you're not an art journaler, the techniques I used in this make brilliant background pages for mixed media scrapbooking pages, or you could do a big page and cut it up and make gorgeous card fronts as well. So it's not limited to your art journal. Please think outside the box and see what else you can do with it. Until next time, bye for now.